and welcome back to another Tech Minds video. Now on this channel in the past, I've shown you various ways in which you can use SDR receivers or dedicated receivers to track aircraft from your home location. Now this is all possible because aircraft transmit a whole load of information at 1090 MHz. The transmitted information also includes position data. When combined with a map, you get your very own aircraft radar system, but not using radar. Now in this video, I'm going to show you the Deluxe Dual SDR feeder kit available from ADSB Exchange. In the box, we find a nice little getting started user guide, which provides all the information you need to get up and running. There are a couple of options on how to use this ADSB feeder kit, but the most simplest is to just connect it to your home network using an Ethernet cable and then plug in a suitable antenna. Now I'll go into some of the configuration settings shortly if you want to change anything. Now also in the box, you are provided with two antennas, one for 978 MHz and one for 1090 MHz. Also in the packet, you'll find a 1090 SAW filter, which is quite important if you're in a very busy area with lots of RF noise around that band. Now the ADSB feeder itself is made from aluminium, which also acts as a heatsink for the internal Raspberry Pi and the two SDR receivers in an effort to keep them cool. Now on one end, we find a micro SD card slot, which provides direct access to the SD card for the internal Raspberry Pi. The included SD card is fully programmed and ready to use, so there's nothing you need to do with that. Next to this, we find two status LEDs, which are useful for ensuring the device is running as required. On the other end, we find an Ethernet socket, a USB-C power connection, and two SMA sockets, one for receiving 978 MHz and one for receiving 1090 MHz. Now both of these antenna ports can be activated at the same time, although 978 MHz is mainly used in the States and not much use in Europe, if any at all. To get started with this ADSB feeder, simply plug an Ethernet cable in between your home router and then plug in a power supply. Alternatively, you can power on the ADSB receiver, connect to it via an ad hoc Wi-Fi connection from your laptop, PC or mobile phone, and then configure its Wi-Fi to connect to your home Wi-Fi. And once you have the device connected to your network, you can simply type its IP address into a browser that's on your local area network. To find that IP address, you would obviously just go into your router settings to find it. However, there is an easier way. Just type http://adsbexchange.local, which will then bring up the configuration menu. Now, if you're connected to the ADSB receiver via Ethernet and you wanted to configure its Wi-Fi, then you can do this from the Wi-Fi configuration page. So after setting any Wi-Fi or network configuration settings, you want to go into Receiver Location Settings page and enter your home coordinates. Now this helps with MLAP positioning, and also the map will center on your home location when viewed. There are a few other settings here you can change, like location height above sea level, or even adjust the gain of the SDRs. If you're not using 978 MHz, you can also turn this feature off to save power and try and keep the unit a little cooler. Now one of the useful features is the 8-hour track plot, where you can see all of the detected aircraft tracks over an 8-hour period. There's also an option to take a look at performance charts, which are historical data, or the unit has been powered on. This is very useful if you want to start to experiment with antenna installation placement, or if you want to change your antenna for a different make or model. Not all of them are the same, some have higher and lower gains. It is also great for generally checking how well your installation is working. As well as being able to load up a local map from the device, you can also obtain an internet URL which will show just your ADSB feeder's data. Now this is very useful if you're away from home and want to see the aircraft your home receiver is currently decoding. This is all possible because as default, any aircraft data you receive will be sent directly to the ADSB Exchange servers to help build a worldwide tracking map. Lastly, and the reason why you would have this set up, is to look at the aircraft your receiver is currently decoding. Simply click on the 1090 map button and you'll be presented with a dark mode map screen showing the received aircraft in real time. If you sit there for a second or two, you'll start to see the aircraft moving across the map. Now this software is the TAR 1090 software, which is actually freely available on GitHub, although it's already preloaded and working on this installation. Now as it is, it's very powerful, with all of the decoded aircraft shown in the list format down the right hand side, and all of the aircraft which have position data is shown on the map. Now to view an aircraft's track, you can just click on it, and you'll be able to see where this aircraft has been while in range of your receiver. Also, on the top left of the page, you'll see an actual photo of the aircraft you've selected. Now, not all of them are in the photo database, but a good percentage are there, courtesy of aircraft photographers and plane spotter. Now, the filter section is also quite powerful, with the ability to perform unique searches, such as by aircraft call sign, for example, or even by squawk code. Another useful filter, which is activated just by clicking the U button on the top, will display only military aircraft. Now this is very handy, especially if you wanted to take some snaps of any kind of military aircraft flyby. Well, there we go, guys. That's a brief overview of the ADSB Exchange Dual SDR ADSB decoder receiver. And in my opinion, it's one of the easiest that I've tested to date. Simply plug in an antenna, plug into your network and power on. Of course, I did do some testing with the included antennas, specifically the 1090 MHz antenna, and although it does work, you cannot beat an outside proper installation of an ADSB antenna at a decent height, but it will get you going if you don't have that to start off with. Now, just for your reference, I'm using an outside antenna located around 3 to 4 meters off the ground. Now, this is made by Jet Vision and incorporates its own low noise amplifier. Now, as this antenna has a built-in LNA, I had to feed it with power via a bias T. Now, this SDR ADSB feeder receiver does not include a bias T, so I had to insert my own between the ADSB receiver and the antenna. Now, when it comes to coax type, I would recommend using the best coax you can afford. The signal loss at 1 GHz is quite a lot if you don't use the right decent low loss coax. However, in my example here, I'm just using RG8 Mini, but it was only around 3 meters long. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.